Hey guys, welcome to Raj Makes Money. How are all my money makers doing on this Friday? I hope you guys had a great day in the market and a great week in the market. For me, the week in the market was basically flat. I think I finished where I started. So I guess that's a win. We didn't make anything and we didn't really lose anything. So we didn't accomplish anything all week, but we did. We made some moves and stuff, and I think we're on a good path. We would have made a lot of money if I didn't have Lucid hedged so heavily, but at the same token, we could have lost millions of dollars over the last couple of weeks if I didn't have it hedged. So it's a double-edged sword when you hedge stuff. So you always have to be on top of it. Especially, it's very rare. Thank God I stuck at the 23s. I wanted to go a lot lower, and it could have been a lot worse, especially, when the stock was $16, $17, the other day, I was like, we got to get whatever we can out of this one, I wasn't expecting it to go from, up 25% in, a week's time. It just took off. So, especially on, Tuesday, we kind of was good on Monday. We barely, holding around 20. And then when Morgan Stanley downgraded it, went down to 19. And then Bank of America came in strong. And, Wednesday was good. Thursday was good. And then today it really blew up. So just crazy how fast it's moving. But we'll take a look at it. So unfortunately for me today, I was down $114,000. It's fluctuated, but you have to look at the hedges and you have to look at the positions and everything we have. So Jaguar, and we'll also pick up over the weekend this 2,000 and this 2,250 at 2,500 and this $132. We'll pick up because those all expire worthless, so we didn't close them out. So we'll pick up about $7,000. Jaguar, I'm not sure what's going on because obviously the 150s we didn't sell. If we did sell the 150 call, we'll get called out at $1.50, which I don't think, and we have 800 of them. So this is just because of that whole split. So I don't know. For some reason, Schwab's hasn't updated it, and it's confusing. But no matter what, this has a negative $2,000 against the account that goes away. Hopefully, they don't sell me out of 26,000 shares and have a shortage. But we'll figure it out. eHealth today bounced back a little bit. It was down for a second there, but I think those ones going to continue to come down. These two, like I said, go away. So we have 2,700 long on that one. So it should look pretty good and stuff. Then when you look at Lucid, so Lucid today, like I said, just dynamite. At one point today, it was up to $23.50. This thing has come back super, super strong, like we said. So I'll show you what I have going on here because it's very confusing. So I did all these puts. I closed a lot of them and rolled a lot of them up. These will, like I said, expire worthless, so that will go away. I had the 22s. I actually had rolled in from 21s to 22s and stuff. And I was like, I don't know, this thing's going to probably go next week. So, and I also have some large hedges here. So I said, what, let's do the 23 puts, 1,100 contracts for 100 grand. So basically, if the stock keeps running, we'll collect this 100 grand. It's free money. If the stock comes down $1 or whatever, they'll break even. For me, the best case scenario would be if the stock stayed around $23, $23.50, everything would be a pretty decent week. So I did roll out some more of my contracts because we did have a large position at $23, and there's a lot of exposure there, like I said. At $23, if this goes to $25, you're talking about $1 million hedge, it'll be pretty ugly. And so these are valued at $1. So if the stock, if Lucid next week's around $24, these, we'd roll out, they're going to be $1, but the week after is still always stronger. And the good news is we still have those 2 other weeks, to go. I didn't want to go all the way out to the October 1st because then we only have one more week, and that's a 2-week waiting period. So I did 5,000 contracts just because of the exposure issue I have. At the $1.12, basically at $1.12, these are going to match up, and this will always be worth more money. But if it runs, I really don't have any loss. My loss is pretty minimal. And if this runs, on expiration day, it's going to be flat, and this will always be worth more money. I think these will always, the 25s on October 1st, the 25.15 strikes are definitely going to be worth at $1.12, and this is $1.33. Let's say the stock was $26 on October 1st. The worst case scenario is these are $2. and this would probably be like $2.50. So definitely, there's a better spread doing it this way, and then we could come back and hedge. I could roll this 24 into a 25 for the week of the 7th or 8th, whatever it would be. I could roll it into maybe the 26 is a buck, So it's a very, like I said, hedging is good and bad. If I knew it was going to run so strong, I definitely wouldn't hedge. The good news is this is going to stay a little stronger. This is going to start dropping off quicker. This one here is pretty ugly. A good thing is it's only 900 contracts, but for October 1st, the 93s, this one could get ugly, but it's already $1.50. So I mean, worst case scenario is you add 50 more cents. I mean, my exposure on that one's about $45,000 if everything, But like I said, I still have that extra week in between to ride it out. I've also been looking. I could ride these out, for 30 cents a week. Well, for 2 weeks was like 50 cents, so 25 cents a week. I can take these 10,000 contracts, and for $500,000, I can just go out a couple of more weeks to November 1st, and also keep, because like I said, if we can catch the hedges right for $1, $1.25 a week or something, we can make a lot of money off of it. But when the stocks run, it definitely affects us. So that's what I got going on. Those are all the moves I made today. Hopefully I didn't confuse everyone. But like I said, Lucid had a great day. Markets today overall were just horrible. Second week in a row down markets, seeing the sell-off and stuff, but Lucid stayed strong. I don't think Lucid, like I said, I think Lucid, once they deliver a car, is going to run. I think they're going to stay above $20, $21. I mean, it's kind of like a meme stock. Just depends. If money goes back into the markets next week, I don't think Lucid's going to do a whole lot unless, like I said, Lucid's based on, we got to get that news, there's a car coming out and stuff like that. So that is that on Lucid. Cryptocurrency has been pretty much flat. Our Coinbase account is at $67,000. So not doing a whole lot there. I'll take some of your guys' questions. Let's see. Make money. How do I know this is the real Raja? Because you're looking at him. Let's see. Are you the maker? I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. What else we got here? Jay, what's up, Raja? Going live tonight. No live play tonight, but the Clickfather will be live on YouTube, on the Big Jackpot YouTube from the Cosmos, so make sure you guys tune in to him. Mikey the Fish, what's the point of taking the risk of a large concentrated position if you're going to hedge and limit the jackpot payout? Well, the risk is, if I didn't hedge that position, we would be down probably $1 million right now. By hedging the position, so if you look at my stocks or the portfolio, I'm down 1.2 million. Obviously, the other day we were down almost $2 million, but I mean, this came back so strong the last 2 days of like 900 grand. So we're down 1.2 million, but we really haven't, I'm not really down anything because on these other hedges over the last couple of weeks, I have picked up over $1 million plus. So it's basically stabilized it. Otherwise, we would be in a really bad position right now. So that's why you hedge stuff, especially on a large position. The other thing, when I was hedging this, the stock was $18, $19. I thought it was a pretty safe move. 6 points out of the money, 25+% with 8, 9 days to go. With a 900, we had 9,100 contracts hedged at 30 cents. I thought getting that $270,000 was better. Because, like I said, we were down so much. Very rarely do you just see a stock just explode like this because they didn't have a lot of volatility built in on the upside, and then especially too with that news from Morgan Stanley, it was a big risk. Like we had discussed, we only had 30 cents more we needed to pick up to cover this entire hedge for 300 grand to break even. So I mean that's why you do it. I mean obviously, why didn't I close it out yesterday? Why didn't I close it out 2 days ago? Why didn't I buy 100,000 contracts at 10 cents of the $21, this week for the $21 strike price when Lucid was $17 last week? I could have made myself $25 million in 1 week. I mean, you just don't know, but that's how you have to play it and stuff. So, hi Raja, hi Nick. Have you heard about XPR? A friend says it's going to boom. Have you heard of it? I have not familiar with it. So Jay says, where did you learn about stocks? Just self-taught over the years, and just been trading since I was, basically in my early 20s, and it's fun. It's obviously everyone knows I like to gamble, and it's definitely it's fun. You got to. It's kind of like a daytime casino in some ways. A lot of my investments are more stable and long term and not like this. But this to me is kind of like the casino, just on a bigger scale. This is like doing the $5,000 spins every day. The difference is I know that I can recuperate a lot faster in the markets doing these risks. I also know what I'm doing, especially with the selling the puts to open, which I'm going to go back to that strategy a lot more heavier. I really don't like selling calls and selling just puts, or buying calls and buying puts, which you can hedge. I'm not really a huge fan of that in large amounts, because you do have the risk of losing everything. If you buy a call or you buy a put and it goes nowhere, you risk losing everything if the stock, tumbles or goes up or against you. Where if you sell a put to open, like I've always told you guys, it's like a progressive jackpot. So if every week on $4 or $5 million you can make $100,000-$200,000, you're going to make a lot of money over the course of a year. Like I said, we were doing very well over the course of the year, and Lucid I've made millions of dollars on this year. The downfall for us, unfortunately, was some of these meme stocks. We did make money on a few meme stocks, but Clover we lost 900 grand on. AMC was like 700 grand. That BBIG last week 700 grand or 600 grand. I don't know. So those meme stocks, but I have to go big. So a lot of people will say, "Well, Raj, I made all this money. I've done all this. So you want me to trade your account? I've got $8,000 in play. I started with $3,000." Well, that's really good. You've done amazing. But what people don't realize, when you're trading a large account, you can't trade 10 shares of stock. If you have an account with $5,000 and you buy 100 shares of a stock at $8 each, and it goes up $1, yeah, you made $100, and it's a good trade. I'm not knocking it, but it's very easy to buy and sell 100 shares of stock. With an account of my size, I can't buy 100 shares of stock and make any money. Even if I just did 10,000 shares to make $1 up or down for 10 grand. But when you have large blocks of stock, the prices move very quickly. Example would be eHealth that we've been playing. Burps there, sorry. Like eHealth that we've been playing, if I had 100,000 shares I wanted to liquidate immediately of that stock would be down 3 points. It's just so thinly traded, unless there's news or volume in there. So that's why you have to be very, very careful with all that stuff. And like I said, these things just move quickly, so you have to look at them. Christopher, I sold the Lucid 23.5 put at 369. Would you have rolled out or just closed out and let them put it to you, since your costs would be below 20? I probably would have just rolled. Well, it depends what your strategy is. My strategy is I really don't want to own any stock. I do like owning stock in some places and selling calls or stuff against it. But in this account, I have a strategy that works. Like I said, from the beginning, it's just not sexy. And I think some of it I was, playing to some of the audience and some of the comments by doing stuff. It's kind of like when I'm in the casino. I play a lot of machines I have no interest to play. People know my favorite games are Black Widow, Golden Goddess. I like the Locket Links and some of those, but there's a lot of machines you play because obviously that's what your fans want you to play. That's what they want to watch you play, and that's what draws eyeballs in. Well, it's the same thing, playing the meme stocks, and I'm also a gambler, so it was fun. And like I said, but the good news is I'm very strict. I have good discipline, and I know when to cut it off and make money. And like I said, I definitely by the end of the year we're going to be in the green. I can guarantee you that, and I'm going to make that happen. And it's not going to probably happen by playing meme stocks or cryptocurrency plays. So that is what I'm trying to explain. And like I said, you can do really well. But as far as rolling it out, so for me, it's a progressive jackpot. I would just keep rolling it out until it expires worthless, or if you've made your money, close it out and go away. But that would be what you would want to look at and stuff. So. Nick, watch your slot video all aboard today. So impressed. Vegas got me bad this week. Well, sorry about that. Thank you. The one all aboard one where I hit that 43 grand was amazing, and then we had that mini last week for 11 grand. Was really really good on it. The key fob, King Raja, thanks again. Oh God. For your content. You've said it in the past. You have a bigger position in real estate than stocks. Do you think another real estate crash is coming soon? So one is, most of my real estate is all commercial property. I hate residential. I hate apartments. I hate condos. I hate all that stuff. I do own some. I've owned a lot of them in the past. I hate it because when your tenant doesn't pay you, you can't look inside their unit. You have no clue. They don't pay you for 2 months before you get them out. And it's a disaster. At least with commercial real estate, you can just go look in the building and you can see what's going on. And the returns are much better. A lot of people like residential because it's easy to get a loan. You can buy a second house. You can rent it out. But yeah, I definitely think the commercial market is going to crash, and I think you'll see. When I say crash, I think you're going to see a 15 to 20% pullback in not commercial, excuse me, in the residential market. So I definitely think it's going to come back 15 to 20%. It's not because prices of lumber and stuff are going to probably just drop and cause it. It's just because people can't afford it. I mean, you have to think about it like this: the houses have accelerated so fast, and even with low interest rates, people still can't afford the mortgage. You also, for an investment standpoint, it's a horrible investment. You can't go buy a $500,000 house to rent it for $3,000 a month. If you have to put 10% down to buy it, 50 grand, and you have a $450,000 loan for 30 years, and you rent it for $3,000 a month plus property taxes and everything else, it's a negative asset, or it's a break even for you. Which, yes, if you had the 50 grand, you wanted to forget about it for 30 years, so the rest of your life you're hoping to bet on one house. And the house may go up in value, it could come down in value, but at least if you had it rented the whole entire time and everything worked out perfectly, but I can tell you in 30 years you're going to have to replace every single appliance in the house. You're going to have to do these repairs. If one tenant doesn't pay for 2 months, you get no rent. Now you're out $6,000. I just hate the residential market. So nothing against people who like that stuff, but I hate that. Jay, if you went completely broke, what steps would you take to get rich again? I would probably continue to wear my mask for COVID and rob a bank. No, I'm just kidding. First of all, I don't think I would ever go completely broke. I have some incredible asset planning. The other thing is I try to avoid debt. I hate any loans or debt. So even if everyone didn't pay me, outside of having to figure out how to have enough money to pay all my property tax, I would still be okay. And that's not going to happen. Even during COVID, I was fortunate enough that of all over 200 properties, only one property didn't pay. And about a $90,000 to $100,000 loss. We finally got the guy evicted. He played a bunch of games, with us. He filed for bankruptcy in the middle of it when, courts finally opened, and we were going to have a hearing in December. Then he filed for bankruptcy and extended it out 4 more months. And we finally got him out, and but he was actually, out of all my properties, he was the only one. So I got very fortunate, and he came out okay during it. And I'm still buying, like I said, 1 or 2 properties a month. So it continues to grow. Power Foods, thoughts on monthly dividend income stocks for passive monthly income. So I don't know any stocks that pay a dividend monthly. Most of them pay dividends quarterly or yearly, but they're good. I mean, it's a stock with a yield is good because you're not really buying a stock so much for the value of the stock. You're buying the yield. So you really don't have to worry about the stock going up or down if you're just buying it for the yield. So if you're buying a stock at but you have to be careful because sometimes the yield is really good, and then the stock crashes or the company starts losing money or something goes wrong and they can lower the dividend. So now, a company like Microsoft and Apple, they've never lowered their dividends that I know of, and they continue to pay out more and more, but their yields are also like 1.5%, I don't know, maybe 3% at the tops. So that they're not as good of a yield. Most companies like utility companies have higher yields because they're based on paying out a dividend, not making profits for the company. So it's 2 different strategies with those companies and how they work. But yeah, if you want something that's safe instead of having your money in the bank and you don't really care about the price of the stock, so if you put $100,000 in a stock that has a 3% yield, you're going to make $3,000 a year back on your money, and if it was in the bank, you're going to make $500 a year back. So you're going to make $2,500 a year back more. But if the stock drops, 10%, you're going to make $3,000, and you're going to be down $10,000 when you look at your number. So that's the freaky part. Now, if the stock goes up 10%, you're going to be up $10,000, and you make $3,000 in dividend. It's a great year. So you just have to be careful, and it's a different strategy. Just depending on what you do and stuff. Justin, I miss you playing Golden Goddess and Black Widow, and of course, I always like Brazil, but I understand playing to the audience. Have a great weekend. Thank you, guys. So, let's see. Whistleblower. Residential property in Beverly Hills area have come down more than 10% from the high. The lower price usually follows sooner or later, and especially in I think Beverly Hills got hit with those riots. Yeah, I'm sure Manhattan rents are way down. There's areas that are way up and there's areas that are way down. I'm sure Detroit's not at all-time highs right now. Nothing against Detroit. I still want to go there and check out their casinos, but I'm sure that real estate market is doing as well as the Colorado real estate market, or different ones. It's funny, like right now, if you want something funny to do, or not funny but fun to do, go online, go look up U-Hauls from California. If you want to get a U-Haul from California, leaving California to like Denver, it's $1,500 for a U-Haul to rent one. But if you want to go from Colorado to California, you get a U-Haul for $100 because everybody's leaving California. So just certain areas are going to do really well in certain areas, but in San Diego, the price of real estate probably hasn't dropped much, but in LA, it probably has, or it hasn't gone up much. So it's, just different areas, just depending on where you live in the different areas and stuff. So, but hey guys, I want to wish everyone a great weekend. I hope everyone did well in the markets this week. Like I said, I'm actually happy I come out flat. So that was a win for me. Maybe I may be up a few dollars. I was trying to figure out where I started the week at. But big shout out and thank you to all our Patreon members who get all my trades in real time. I always post them, win or lose. The trades are there for you guys. And of course, all our YouTube sponsors who have access to those really cool emojis. Also, as you guys know, my big jackpot page got hacked. We're working on getting it back. So that's why the ClickFather will be on YouTube tonight. But make sure you guys, the Big Jackpot YouTube, check out the ClickFather. And if you do get any weird messages or see me posting on my Big Jackpot Facebook page anything about send the Raja money, buy cryptocurrency, do you need investment advice, it's definitely not me. And I wouldn't be asking anyone for any money unless you're doing one of my group pools, which we would do in our Patreon group anyways for you guys on our Big Jackpot site. But we'll just want to let everybody know. So if you guys do see any random or weird comments anywhere, because even on Raja Makes Money, they write weird stuff and they say, check out my WhatsApp, and investment help. I don't have a WhatsApp and I don't offer any investment help. And if I do offer you guys any help, I don't charge you for it. So definitely know that if you guys have questions, it's free to ask right here. But hey guys, have a great weekend. Hope you guys made lots of money in the markets this week, and I'll see everybody Monday, same time, same place. Take care and enjoy your weekend.